Security is dragging the referee crew down the tunnel. Behind the barrier, players in red are screaming, pointing, refusing to let this go. This is not a protest. This is a nation demanding a ban. Egypt just asked FIFA to throw an entire officiating team out of the World Cup. And the reason why is about to make you furious too. For 11 minutes, Egypt was living the dream. 2 goals up on the defending champions, deep into a World Cup last 16 match in Atlanta, the Pharaohs were minutes away from the biggest upset of the tournament. Mohamed Salah, 35 years old and playing what many believe is his final World Cup, was seconds from doing something no Egyptian team had ever done. Then, everything Egypt built collapsed, and the collapse is what has the entire football world screaming injustice. Here is what actually happened on the pitch. Yasser Ibrahim headed Egypt into the lead in the 15th minute. Lionel Messi missed a penalty minutes later, saved low by goalkeeper Mostafa Choubert. In the second half, Mostafa Zico thought he had doubled Egypt's lead, only for VAR to chalk it off for a foul in the build-up. Zico refused to let that moment define him, and minutes later, he did score, legitimately, making it 2-0. Then, with just 11 minutes left, Argentina turned into the version of themselves that has haunted opponents for a decade. Christian Romero headed one back. Messi equalized 4 minutes later, and in the second minute of stoppage time, Enzo Fernandez headed home a winner that sent Egypt out of the World Cup. That is the result. But the result is not why Egypt is furious tonight. The fury is about what happened in the moments before Argentina's winning goal. Alexis Mac Allister appeared to pull down Egyptian midfielder Hamdi Fadi inside the penalty area. Seconds later, Julian Alvarez caught Mohamed Salah on the foot and took the ball away, and Salah went down. Both incidents happened in the box. Both incidents involved contact. Neither one was sent to review. Argentina broke forward from that second incident, and less than 20 seconds later, the ball was in the Egyptian net. Put yourself in that dressing room. You built a defensive masterpiece for 80 minutes against the reigning champions. You watched your captain, a legend playing what might be his last night in a World Cup shirt, go down in the box with no whistle. And then you watched the exact same referee who waved away your penalty claims turn around and rule out an early goal of yours for a foul that, to Egyptian eyes, looked no different from the ones he ignored. Head coach Hossam Hassan could not hide his anger afterward. He said life is unfair, the world is unfair, but asked why there is no fairness in sport. He said he no longer believes there was justice in the competition and that the effort of an entire nation had been wasted. During the final whistle chaos, Hassan was shown a yellow card, not for shouting, but for crossing his arms in front of his chest, the gesture players and coaches use to flag a racist incident to the referee. He never explained exactly what he meant by it. He did not need to. The gesture alone told you how far his trust in that officiating crew had collapsed by the final whistle. Mostafa Zico went further. He called the tournament fixed. Those are not throwaway lines from a losing team. Those are accusations aimed directly at the credibility of a World Cup being played on American soil. By Wednesday, the Egyptian Football Association had turned outrage into official action. The federation released a statement saying it would not stay silent over what it called the improper use of the VAR system, and pointed to controversial incidents it said directly influenced the outcome. Reports soon followed that UEFA President Hani Abo Rida had filed a formal complaint against French referee François Letexier and his assistant officials. And then came the request nobody saw coming. Egypt is reported to have formally asked FIFA to remove Letexier and his entire crew from the rest of the World Cup. Think about the size of that demand. Not a warning, not a review, a full removal of a World Cup officiating team, mid-tournament, with the quarterfinals about to begin. Letexier himself has already felt the weight of this moment. Facing a wave of online abuse after the match, he reportedly limited comments on his social media before deactivating his account entirely. A man whose entire job is to be invisible has become the most talked-about name in the tournament. And Egypt was not the only voice raising the alarm. Former Premier League striker Ian Wright pointed directly at the inconsistency, arguing that if one penalty shout gets waved off, the other one involving Salah has to be reviewed too. Jamie Carragher questioned the whole application of VAR that night. When two of the sport's most respected pundits are asking the same question Egypt is asking, this stops being a losing team's complaint. It becomes a credibility problem for the tournament itself. Here is why this matters if you are watching from the United States. This match happened in Atlanta, on American turf, in front of an American crowd discovering World Cup drama in real time. FIFA wanted this tournament to be a showcase for the sport in this country. Instead, the biggest story out of Atlanta is not the comeback. It is whether the reigning champions are getting help nobody else on the bracket is getting. Casual fans who tuned in expecting a feel-good underdog story instead got a masterclass in exactly the kind of controversy that makes people distrust officiating in every sport. That distrust does not stay contained to one match. It follows the tournament into every remaining broadcast, every remaining ticket sold, every remaining American living room deciding whether this sport deserves their attention. Because this is not an isolated complaint anymore. It is a pattern forming in real time, one that follows Argentina from match to match, and one that other nations are now watching with their own suspicions rising. If a ban demand like this succeeds, it does not just remove one referee. It sends a message to every remaining team that the story of this World Cup can still be rewritten by outrage, by pressure, and by exactly how loud your grievance gets. FIFA has not yet responded publicly to Egypt's demand. Argentina, for its part, is simply moving forward, already looking ahead to a quarterfinal against Switzerland, seemingly unbothered by the storm they are leaving behind them. And that is how Hossam Hassan refused the version of the night where the failure was the ending. But he wasn't the only one facing a nightmare that summer. In fact, just minutes before the final whistle that eliminated his team, another story was already being written, one where a missed penalty should have been the end of a legend's night. Instead, in just 13 minutes, that same man turned Egypt's dream into a footnote. And what he did in that stretch of time is the most messy thing Messi has ever done. Egypt may demand justice from FIFA, but on that pitch in Atlanta, Lionel Messi wrote his own law. If you want to see exactly how he dismantled the Pharaohs and saved Argentina from the brink of elimination in less than a quarter of an hour, click on the video on your screen right now and see the side of the story the cameras didn't want you to watch.